I want you guys to raise your hand if you ever heard this. Renting is throwing money away, while buying a house means you've officially made it in life. Although this may seem simple, it's actually not as simple as you may think, because most of us grew up with this idea that if you buy a house, you're winning, you could do no wrong, it's one of the best financial decisions you could ever make. And if you rent, you're somehow behind, like you're kind of missing out on life. You're not doing the right thing financially, you're throwing your money away. But here's the thing that nobody really says out loud. Both sides have trade-offs, both sides have risks, but also on the flip side, both sides also do have benefits. And depending on your situation, the right choice could literally save you years of stress and tens of thousands of dollars. So before you jump into a lease or buy just because that you think that's what you're supposed to do, let's actually talk about the real differences between renting and owning, without the hype, without the pressure, and without the fake success stories. And real quick, drop a comment down below before we jump into the video. Do you guys rent? Do you guys own? And why did you guys choose to do it? Did you guys rent in the past and then you decided to, eventually buy a home? Have you guys owned a home and then you didn't like what came with it, so you went back to renting? I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know. So starting out the video, let's go with renting. Let's start off with renting. Renting's great, right? Everyone loves renting. Well, some of the upsides that come with renting is you have mobility. And what I mean by mobility, if you get a new job or you go through some traumatic breakup with your ex, or you just want a new view, a new life in a new city, renting makes it easy. You're not stuck trying to sell a house. You're not dealing with closings, inspections, and all the stress. You can simply just get up and move. Now, the second thing is maintenance. Maintenance isn't your problem. If the AC breaks, middle of summer, July, hot as balls outside, the AC breaks, you call your landlord. Either they come out and fix it, they send a guy out to come and fix it. No worries. Roof leaks during a crazy storm, they'll have a roofer come out, fix your problem. No money coming out of your wallet. The water heater dies, you can't take a hot shower. Also not your problem. Let someone else deal with it. It's not yours. It's not your problem. You don't have to pull the money out of savings. You don't need to panic. You don't need to worry about the repair bills. You simply just live your life and someone else fixes it for you. The third thing, you got to bring up the low upfront cost. So usually when you move into a place, when you rent, you're doing first month rent, last month, and security deposit. That's it. You're done. Now, if you compare that to buying a $400,000 house and you put 20% down on it, which is $80,000, and then you add the closing costs into it, this is a totally different world. The money you're spending on that house is 20 times what you're going to be paying for that initial rent setup, that initial lease agreement. But with that, let's also keep in mind, let's not get too, let's not stay with renting and say this is the best way to go about it. We need to also realize that renting has downsides. So when you pay rent, the people that do say it, they are true. This is the reality of it. You're not really building any ownership. You're basically just throwing your money away. You don't own anything. You don't have to worry about anything. But at the same time, you don't own anything. You're just throwing your money to your landlord. They keep it, and that's it. Next thing, if the landlord comes along, hey, I'm raising the rent. Nothing you can do about it. You just got to either pay the rent, the higher amount that he wants you to pay, you just got to pay it, or you're out of an apartment, you got to find somewhere else to go. And these rent increases can happen anytime. There's no predictability. It could happen anytime, and you need to be prepared for that. Next thing, you have limited control over what you want to do. And this is so annoying because I personally rent, and there are times where I wanted to put pictures up on the wall or hang a TV, mount a TV from the wall, maybe put a fresh coat of paint on. You don't have the freedom to do that. And it's frustrating because, this is your space. This is your home. You want it to be how you want it to be. But, when you're under that lease agreement, you don't have much to go on. You just got to kind of deal with it. And unfortunately, that's the reality of it. So while doing research for this video, I found this stat, and I thought, I'm not surprised by it just because everything being so expensive nowadays, but the median one-bedroom apartment, the rent for that apartment in the United States is over $1,400 a month. So over the next 10 years, if you were to rent for that price, you'd be paying your landlord $168,000, and you would have ownership over zilch. You'd have no ownership. You'd just be giving that money to your landlord, and Honestly, that's really crazy when you think about it. So I do understand why people say you're throwing your money away, but there's also a lot of upsides where, you're doing that. But if you would rather do that and not have to worry about all the little nitty gritty things, then that might be worth it to you. So renting gives you that freedom, it gives you the flexibility, and it has low risk, but long-term wealth building, it's not in your favor. So next, let's jump on the buying. So people buy homes for a few reasons, or so, I think they buy homes. So first is the equity. So every payment, unlike renting, you're putting it towards something. You're building ownership. So over time, that can turn into serious net worth if everything goes in your favor. The second, you have stability. There's no landlord, there's no rent hikes, there's no rules on your lease, there's no asking permission. If you want to paint, build, renovate, it's all yours. Make the space the way you want it, and nobody will say anything. Unless if you build 17 attachments on your house and you have to get work permits. That's another story. But that has nothing to do with renting and buying. Anything cosmetically on the inside, you don't need to worry about it. So great. That sounds great. That's awesome. I'm going to buy a house. But let's jump into the downsides, because there's no upsides without downsides. So the first thing, like I said before, the upfront costs. You compare that to first month, last month, when you're renting, like using that $400,000 house as an example, you have the down payment, you have the closing costs, the inspections, the fees, the insurance, whatever it may be. That $400,000 house isn't $400,000 anymore. You're going to be spending more, and people don't think about that. They see the house price, they're like, I can do this, I can swing this, and they don't factor in any other of these massive financial hits. Next, kind of like the flip side of renting, there's the maintenance. You could have roof problems, the plumbing could go out, the HVAC equipment could go out, the appliances. If it's not a furnished space, you're going to have to get all new appliances. Random stuff breaking. This is all on you. And sometimes this can add up to thousands of dollars a year, and it's on you. There's no one to come save you. This is your home, and you need to fix it. And also with the market risk. Now, I know wealth building when you're buying a home is, of course, something that you're going to think about. It's something that you're interested in. But you need to also understand that homes don't always go up. And if you buy in the wrong area or buy at the wrong time, you can lose money, and it's not guaranteed wealth. So it's kind of like the stock market. You're kind of taking a chance on it. So it's more than just looking at a price of a house and saying, I can afford that, let's do it. You need to look at the market. You need to look at the surrounding area. This is your owner. You're the owner of this property. You need to do the work, and you need to put in the time to figure out if this will be worth it to you. The next thing, the flexibility drops. I mean, like with renting, you need to get up and leave for any reason. It's not as easy when it comes to owning, because selling takes time. Moving isn't simple, and you're kind of locked in a location way more than a renter would be. There's a lot more that goes into it. You need to sell the home. People need to come look at it. You need to put on the market. You need to get it for a price that you're okay with. There's so many aspects that go into it. So kind of like a just for perspective type of thing here. I'm going to use the same example as I used before. So for the $400,000 home, 20% down payment, $80,000 upfront costs. When you add all this in, that is going to be your hit when you buy a home. I just had to say that again, because a lot of people really don't understand that you're not paying what you see on Zillow. You're going to be paying so much more. So yes, buying can build wealth, but it also comes with the pressure. It comes with the responsibility. And this is something that people just don't talk about. And when you're buying a home, you need to understand these things, and you need to tread lightly. So at the end of the day, there's no universal right answer here. I mean, you can't go by the moral compass of it where renting is failing, because if you value flexibility, low stress, mobility, renting could be your best friend. Whereas, where you're buying, people say it's winning, but if you're house poor, you're stressed, and you're stretched out financially, and you can't live your life, you're just stuck to your house that you can barely afford. It may look good on the outside. It may look like you're winning at life to your father, but in reality, I mean, I don't consider that to be the best way to go about it. But if you can afford it, buying a home's great. It's completely up to you. But another aspect I found too is many people decide maybe, okay, well, I don't want to buy a home yet, but I can rent and invest. And some people may say that that's throwing money away, but I don't really consider that, because when you look at statistics, historically speaking, the stock market has often built wealth faster than home equity. So, and that's even especially when people overbuy homes that they can't afford. So, I don't know, man. It's so universal. It's so person to person. And what my goal is here is to put everything out on the table for you guys, and you guys can kind of pick through and see, like, okay, maybe you have some stats here or there. This will be better for me. That will be better for me. And you guys can form your own opinion. And that's kind of how I feel about it. But, to have kind of like a takeaway here, I'll kind of say everything again. It's not winning and losing. Renting and buying isn't winning or losing. It's about alignment. If you want the freedom, renting may be better. If you want the long term, if you want the equity, buying might be better. But the thing is, the smartest move is the one that fits your life, that fits your finances, and that fits your goals. Social pressure, there's no Instagram involvement. It's not what your parents say. You need to do what's best for you. And that's simply what it is, because the choice that works for you is the only one that actually matters. So that's all I got here, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. If you want to leave a like, I'd greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you guys learned something. Like I said, down in the comments, let me know what your current situations are. I'd love to hear from you guys just to see, what your thought process is. But yeah, that's all for me. So appreciate you guys. Peace.